Hello! I have finished recording for the day. I was recording for some auditions. There are two characters. I recorded for one of them and I thought, that's okay. I looked at the other one and I was like, oh, I definitely can't do that character. For one, there was some languages involved that I don't speak, and I have enough respect for other languages not to butcher them. So someone who knows the language will be filling that role. At least I very much hope so. Anyway, hello. If you're new here, I am Vera. I am an illustrator, as you can see me drawing on the whichever side it's on. And you can hear me as a voice actor in Reverse 1999 as Paper Heron, who is the character I'm drawing today. But you might have also heard me in Digital Circus, and you might have also heard me in Zenless Zone Zero and Balloons, or a bunch of other assorted games and animation. But I wanted to talk... Oh, wait, yeah. And I'm also a singer, and I've been singing for like 20 years, which is way longer than I've been doing any of these other things, hilariously. I just can't be bothered pursuing a musical career, guys. I'm actually dog water at anything that isn't actually just performing the music. So, like, don't expect anything too much unless I find a really good producer friend that's willing to make some crazy shit. Anyway, I wanted to specifically talk about the crossover in... I'm not really sure what to call this. The crossover in... I wouldn't say it's a philosophy. The crossover in parts of your brain that you use when you act, when you sing, when you draw. When you're doing all of these things, there is a major imaginative element to it. You have to imagine the final result, right? That was a given. But we have to build the scene in our heads. The scene of, like, for example, let's use this drawing, right? As I'm drawing this drawing, I'm kind of like, okay, she's lying down. That's what she's doing. That's the pose she's in. She's doing this. And where is she? The character is in the water. Paper Heron is in the water. Her hair is doing... Whoops, it's braided. Wild things in the background, because that's what hair does in water. I'm imagining how that hair, how that water feels in that hair. What is she feeling? I don't know. Paper Heron is an extremely calm character, and this drawing that I'm doing of her is actually exactly what I was picturing as I was recording for her for like 30 hours or however long this was. I took about 11 hours to do this drawing, which is pretty average for a drawing of this detail, as you'll see later on. But you have to create all these things from scratch, right? You're building the scene in your head. And this has, I don't know, that's exactly what you do in voice acting as well. And I have to specify voice acting because in theater, maybe during rehearsal, you have to imagine a lot of it. But like in theater and in film, you have props, you have other actors to bounce off of. Even, I mean, when you're doing on-camera self-tapes, maybe you don't really have anyone to bounce off, but you usually have a reader and you can bounce off the reader. In voice acting, there is no reader. There is just you, the microphone, and an Excel spreadsheet with like 50,000 cells. Because each cell is a single line, right? It goes like character, file name, text in the original language if it's a localization, English text for localization, and then like, have you recorded this, tick or not tick, and then like notes if there was an alt or whatever. It's just a giant Excel spreadsheet, right? There is no set design, there's no like props, there's no costume, there's no makeup, there's like, it's nothing. You're in a box, right? There's nothing. So you have to build that scene up in your head from scratch. And I have a funny story about this because when I was recording for Reverse 1999, I forgot what kind of game we were recording. Because I'm not gonna lie, when we were doing all the lines where I was talking to or about Chung He Kwang, in my head, and I'm gonna include an image of it in the video when I edit it. In my head, I thought he was gonna look like the police officer from Miraculous Ladybug. Please do not ask me what I was thinking when I imagined him as the cop from Miraculous Ladybug. But he's not. He's a Chinese twink, which makes sense. Like, I've played gacha games. I know what these guys look like. I just don't know why in my head I was like, yep, he's like a portly dad sort of figure who's like kind of uptight. Like that's how I would kind of read him, because Paper Heron is such an easygoing and chill sort of character where anyone in comparison to her seems uptight, right? She's like, yeah, and I would like to go here with my mule, and we're gonna see the sights, and I'm not really thinking about what I want to do next. And Chong Hong Kwong is like, yes, I'm a cop doing cop things. Order in the village. You're trespassing. Stop doing that. So in my head, I imagined him as the police officer from Miraculous Ladybug. So when you're listening to lines of me talking to him, you can kind of tell that she really does not give a fuck about this guy. Like, not that she doesn't care about him, because she's like, yeah, he's an honorable guy and I respect him. Like, absolutely yes. But she doesn't care about him in the way he's like, oh yeah, that's like a hot Chinese twink or whatever. Right? Like, I feel like my reads would be similar if I had accurately imagined him. But this turned into a thing about me talking about Chung Ho Kwang, and it's really not about Chung Ho Kwang, but like, the visualization matters and comes out in your acting. That is the point I wanted to make. I'm sorry that was such a long tangent for absolutely no reason. The next point I wanted to go to was an interview that I read once from Kafka Asagiri, who is the author of Bungo Stray Dogs, which I love a lot. I literally have every single English translation of every single manga that exists of it. But he was talking about how he just is the writer. He passes off the script to Harukawa, who's the artist, and he describes what Harukawa does as like, oh yeah, they're drawing, they're doing the acting, the set design, the costume, the makeup, like all of these things that would make up a film, right? He talks about it in film terms, which I thought was really interesting. I was like, oh yeah, in a sense, the drawing is acting. Harukawa is acting. They are acting as Dazai. They're acting as Atsushi. They're like thinking about what these characters would look like, how they would move, how they would react. It is all essentially the same thing. I read this interview maybe about 2 to 3 years ago, and I was like, oh, actually, yeah, that does make a lot of sense from that perspective. And then the rest of the interview was him like geeking out about how he's like, oh my god, it's gonna be so ass because now I have to do all of the acting, the editing, the set design, the so on and so forth, which I thought was really funny, because I think all artists have this anxiety that when they like do something that is just ass. Like, I was drawing this, and the entire time I was drawing it, I was like, oh my god, this is gonna be so ass. And that's like the thought process I have in recordings as well. Like, you guys were not there. No one was there when I was like physically in the room recording this. My camera was off to save on bandwidth so that the audio engineer wasn't like suffering and dying from like cut-ins and cutouts, right? Every time I would do a line, I would then move away from the microphone, go into the wall, and then go, it's like, oh my god, I'm gonna get flamed. This is so bad. This is so ass. Because I doubted my acting, and I doubt my acting in this drawing as well. Let that be made known. Such an artist thing. But yeah, that's the thesis. That's my thesis. Like, drawing is acting, is singing, is drawing again. Like, it's all the same thought process. So once you master the thought process for one of them, it is very easy to carry over that into another medium and apply it. And it applies to other aspects of it as well, like the technical aspects. Like, drawing is about taking forms, breaking them down into like simple shapes, and then working it up from there. The same thing is applicable for sewing, which I also do. I actually made a cosplay of my Zenless character from scratch, like the jacket I made from scratch. Like, you take, as a seamstress, as someone who sews, you would take the sleeve and you would break it down into a simple form that you can cut out of a piece of flat fabric, the same way you kind of would do that for drawing. Like, oh yeah, like her face, you can break that down into like some circles, some curves, some like crosses. You see me do all of that construction shit at the start of the video, right? Once you get that like way, once you get that method down, you can apply to so many things. And it doesn't even have to be in the same medium. Like, yeah, you can be like, yeah, once you learn watercolor and oils and like acrylic, you can also apply that to digital art. That's not true. You can apply that mentality, like the scene building, the detail orientation, like the almost problem solving of like breaking a scene down, right? What is she doing here and how does that change over the course of the scene? You can use all of that for all kinds of art, and you don't have to specialize in just one kind of art, is what I tell a lot of people. Because some people are like, oh, I'm only good at X, I'm only good at Y, like this other artistic endeavor seems so insane to me. I like cannot comprehend like how people do it. That's me with 3D stuff, by the way. Like someone was like, oh, can you do stuff in Blender? And I was like, I would rather cry. Right? So yeah, it seems impossible when you're just thinking about it on its face. But I promise, once you get the thought process down, it is so much easier than you think. And becoming good in one art can help you improve in your other art. That's why I work so hard at my drawing, because it looks nice, but it also helps my acting stuff. Like when I see character art of a character I am auditioning for, I'm actually so much more likely to book it. For Paper Heron, I did not see any art of her whatsoever, but I saw art of like Valentine. Oh my god, hi, please ignore my roommate. Valentine from Sunset Phoenix. I saw art of her. I was like, oh my god, she's so hot. I need this right now. And I did book her, and she has a YouTube's plush now, so, go check that out. And I also saw it for Digital Circus. Like, I saw the concept art of Princess Lulilalu. And I was like, oh my god, she's so cute. I need her. And then it happened, Like, when I see the character art, I can break it down in my head. I can be like, oh, she's really cute and soft because she's got a lot of circles. Like, Lulilalu is almost entirely comprised of broken apart circles if you look at her. She's so soft. So that's why I had, like... Anyway, I kind of panicked because the speed paint ended. So here's the ending element to it. That's my thesis. None of this was scripted. I'm so sorry. I don't do scripting because I'm tired. I read from enough scripts, okay? I don't want to do it anymore. That's my thesis. There is a mindset behind all art that you can apply to every single medium, performing, visual, or otherwise. And once you get that process down, it's a lot easier to switch between these disciplines. And it's very fun, and I highly recommend you try it. Anyway, see you when I feel like recording the Zenless, the Zenless video. See you in 5 years, guys.